it's the conversational aspect of it.
Exactly. And what we're
Where
conversating about, it's just
our passion, Marvel, comics, superheroes.
exactly comic book media. It's just a hobby.
Exactly.
Two normal dudes.
Being nerds.
Your average of the mill. We're not huge into like we read every single comic book that comes out.
No,
Not
definitely
at all.
don't. No.
We got lives, we got families, we got kids,
jobs. We got a lot. We got a full-on schedule.
Exactly. We're working full-time, 40 hours a week. Your average 9 to 5.
You legitimately just, it's in passing time when you can read something that strikes like you, like the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Per se. They're going to reboot it, and you want to be able to read it in your pastime. And so you get a comic book, and it takes you 15, 20 minutes at max.
Right.
Maybe another 15 minutes kind of analyzing what you just read, maybe looking at pictures, and like you get a grasp of the story, because there's very minimal, and it's just a lot of assertions that you have to make when it comes down to reading a comic. And that's how you interpret it.
That's the cool thing about picking up a brand new #1 comic, a brand new story, a brand new telling, talking about Ultimate Spider-Man.
Reimagined Spider-Man, or reimagined.
Completely.
Storyline, character arc, same basic concept. He's still Peter Parker. Now he's married, he has 2 kids. He's in his 30s, he's never known being Spider-Man.
Right.
It's different. It's
different,
totally on what we're used to.
But it's different, but it's also still relatable in a lot of ways. He's just an average guy.
Exactly.
He has a wife and children.
Yeah.
We're seeing the Peter Parker that most fans probably always wanted to see him settle down and be happy.
Yeah, exactly. And they had a catastrophic event, and then out of nowhere, like May dies because of like the terrorist attack, and then you have a future Iron Man come drop off a spear to you. What the heck? What?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. But that's the cool thing about the #1 is that, hey, it drew our attention. We're interested. We want to pick up #2.
100%. He literally lets him get bitten by a spider, feeling like something's been missing. He hasn't been himself. Yeah, no, it makes the mind wonder, who are the villains going to be in this? What's going to be happening?
Yeah, because the comic book picks up right at the beginning. It establishes the world where this is a universe that there was no heroes.
No heroes at all. So they don't know Iron Man. They don't know Iron Fist. The New York crime scene is probably running rampant. Right. Think about that. Fist is probably mayor of New York right now. Do we know? Not yet.
Not yet. But we did see Fisk. He has some sort of pull in the media.
Yes, because of the Bugle. Yes, when you see him there. And Uncle Ben.
Ben.
Still alive. And yet he is good friends with Jonah Jameson.
I don't know who came up with that at Marvel, but that is genius.
We've never seen an Uncle Ben this old.
No.
Think about that for a second. You usually get Peter Parker in high school, gets bitten by the spider, and then Uncle Ben dies shortly afterwards. So you're talking, this is 20 years older Ben.
Right.
Totally different established, different story arc for him completely. I wonder what the writers have planned for Uncle Ben and Peter's growth, and what catastrophic event's going to happen to Uncle Ben or the children. Or the children.
Oh, exactly.
There it can take some really, really dark turns when you think about it, because Peter's always had some type of death. You have the original Uncle Ben getting killed. You have Spider-Man 2 game, Aunt May dies after Uncle Ben dies. And you get it.
Spider-Man, the good Spider-Man stories, the good superhero stories in general, the superhero always begins or is fully established as who they are and who they're going to be by tragedy in their lives.
Yes.
And this Spider-Man, he has had one actually, because the terrorist attack killed Aunt May.
But that's Peter Parker having that.
Exactly.
Think about that. It's Peter Parker.
It wasn't due to some super villain that
he could have stopped.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't feel responsible. There's no responsibility in that death.
There's no great power.
Exactly. Exactly. He didn't have his powers, and then could stop the robber, and Uncle Ben gets killed, and then he realizes, and he goes on a madman chase trying to find the guy.
Yeah,
can't find the guy, and he has to learn that with great power comes great responsibility. What's going to happen to make him learn that? What is going to happen?
And we could brainstorm all day. We could have all the theories we want. I kind of think that, hey, what's the first thing that happens in every Spider-Man story as soon as he gets his powers? We lose Uncle Ben.
I don't know. No, that would be a cheap way out
because it would be.
Because then you don't have to worry about the story arc between him and Jonah and their relationship and try to paint them out. I mean, you did a good job of it in the very first comic.
Yeah.
So they're going out to dinner discussing how they're going to open up their own media. So I think at some point, since they're gone and they're going to try to rival Fisk because you see Fisk there, I think they're going to start some type of newspaper, little media thing. Podcast, whatever the case may be, and I think Fisk is going to come after them. So I think at one point, Uncle Ben and Jonah Jameson probably will die.
Maybe
either that or Jonah Jameson goes back to the Bugle, and while Fisk kills Ben, because I feel like Fisk is going to know Peter. There's going to I could go 1,000 different ways.
Something's going to happen,
but it'd be a cheap way to write him out right away.
If it's just Ben, yeah.
I personally think it's going to be Mary Jane. Oh man. I see him having to be a single father and trying to paint some picture like that. That would be really tragic.
That is tragic. Now that we see Peter actually be happy with the family, like, oh man. But then get it taken away from him like that. Oh,
what happens then if he gets with Gwen?
Oh, that's true. Where's Gwen?
There's a weird way that they can.
What about Black Cat? Like that's always been a hot fling with Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think that would be
interesting. A cougar black cat?
Stepmom black cat.
Oh, man.
Stepmom black cat.
Oh, Ben gets with black cat?
Oh, dude.
Hey, been bad. That'd be too funny.
No, it's...
That, but who knows where the writer, I believe his name is Jonathan Hickman. Look, we're not big into comics. We're barely getting into, reading comics. I read comics off and on, growing up, but I never fully was, reading your average comic that's coming out every single month or every single week.
Buying every single comic, but the brand new issue as soon as it comes out in a series.
Right.
Either was I. I'm not gonna lie, I got into it because of the movies. I got into it because of Iron Man. I was like 7th, 8th grade when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was out, maybe even 6th grade. And when the first one came out, because the CG in that movie is so terrible when you go watch it now. But I was younger, so that started getting me interested.
I was even younger than that. When did it come out? 2002.
Yeah, you're significantly younger than me.
I would have been 5 years old.
I'm 34. I'm 34 this year.
I'll be 27 this year.
I'll be 35 this upcoming year. I just turned 34. But yeah, no. So what got me into it? It's not like I am a 60-year-old like my father-in-law. He bought Spider-Man issue comic number 1 brand new when he was a kid.
Yeah.
In his 60s, he loves comics. Like
awesome.
By no means am I that type of person. Like what you had to be back then.
Yeah, we just grew up as kids. We got the action figures. We probably seen the cartoons.
The cartoons like X-Men.
Yeah. The movies.
Yes.
And of course probably the biggest franchise ever in movies, the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, that leads me to want to talk about Echo. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It makes me want to talk about the Echo show. It makes me excited to see what the MCU is doing with like the spotlight, what they're trying to do now. You're basically, I feel like every show that's gonna come out right now out of the MCU with the Marvel spotlight with it, I truly think it's gonna be a 5-6 episode push. So kind of like they're just gonna release a series instead of it coming out like every Tuesday or Thursday or Wednesday, kind of like what they did with the Mandalorian stuff. I think they're going to move away with that. So it's basically going to be a low budget movie that is TV, a nice TV show grade, and you can binge it and watch it.
And that's exactly what Echo delivered. I heard it was probably one of the lowest budget Disney projects for Marvel.
And if that's the case, that's great. I enjoyed it. It was.
It was enjoyable. Yeah,
it's nice to move away from the cosmic aspect and get back to the New York street crime, and get to see just the street level stuff. It's fun. Yeah. Do they kind of play up Fisk as this indestructible guy? Yeah, but do they do it in a manner where you see his head get completely blown off, like in Deadpool or whatever, or an arm or whatever, and it grows back? Nothing like that. They're just they still they pay that homage to the comic book character still. But it's just the way the budget is and everything. It's nice to actually watch it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. Even though they're playing to they got another female, like what they've been doing with the Marvels and everything like that. I mean, but
Which
they didn't
it's
give her
fine
a lot
if
of
it
female
doesn't.
power.
It's fine if it doesn't feel forced.
And it wasn't forced, I think, in this aspect. I really don't. It was more enjoyable than sitting down and watching the Marvels or Miss Marvel's show. I'm not gonna lie, I made it through like the third episode and I quit watching.
Yeah.
And I went to the cutscene where they, and then
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever Miss Marvel comes in, Brie Larson, and that was it was terrible, but it's nothing on that level.
I've literally told everybody, like, hey, if you want to watch Miss Marvel, or if you don't, just watch like the last 10 minutes of the show, maybe.
Back to Echo.
Back to Echo, yeah.
Back to Echo.
I liked it. It wasn't the best. I have some problems with it, to be honest. I mean, I like the first episode. I liked how they established the character, who this is, gave us that recap that we needed to see from Hawkeye.
And not only did they gave her kind of the Fisk recap as well to kind of like reintroduce him for maybe people who aren't going to see, like letting them know that's going to be like the main antagonist.
And the whole backstory, the relationship we obviously see between them. Fisk taking her under his wing from, it seems like, her family.
Yeah, after like he kills her dad and all that, because when he had a job. So if you watch that episode, like when she was a child, like, you know, I'm taking off to New York. You know, I got a job. Father is always kind of a gangster kind of guy.
Yeah,
illegal activities, stuff like that. So when he's going up there, and he takes him in, gives him a job, and then I don't think, why did he kill him? Did they really establish the reason why he killed him, or like a backstory to that?
If killing? They did, I missed it, but I'm not sure.
I can't remember. But yeah, no. And so after he kills him, he takes her under his wing and basically makes her his little assassin.
Grooms her to be, his assassin.
Reach a certain age, she's going in with two guys that she doesn't know as a young, not even teenager. I want to say in her 20s. It is a different. The way that they explained all of it, it was good. It was good. I want to know your worst, what you hated most about it. Let's I want to hear it.
Well, just dropping spoilers. You know, if you haven't seen it, watch it. Mold your own opinion. My opinion, I like the first episode. I liked Daredevil, the 60-40 seconds that we got of Daredevil.
Him fighting.
It was cool. It was cool. I like seeing the old. It looked like the Netflix suit.
I think it was.
I think so.
At least close to it.
The choreography was good. The things that I did like, again, establishing the character of Echo. I guess in the comic books, they kind of nerfed her or changed her powers, I guess. In the comic books, she was Echo because she could echo the abilities or attacks of somebody, kind of like a Taskmaster almost.
Yes.
That's
quick learner aspect of it.
Yeah, yes. That's pretty cool. I feel like, you know, you could sell that in a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. But the biggest thing for me is I never fully understood what her powers even were. You know, she gets like this mojo from her from her female ancestors. You know, that
was a terrible aspect.
It didn't make any damn sense. Just to be honest, at the end when they have that battle with Fisk, and all of a sudden all the women of this tribe who are descendants of these people have like these alien super. Who are these people? Some aliens came
beyond the grave,
it didn't make any sense. Just to be frank, I mean, okay, aliens. I think they were aliens, and they're this Native American
people
tribe.
Of the land, and the way they're
the Choctaw tribe.
Yeah,
so they came from aliens. I have no idea. It didn't make any damn sense. You know, okay, look, this girl's running around kicking people's asses with 1 foot and superpowers that don't make 1 foot and superpowers that don't make any damn sense.
No,
that's my biggest issue with it. And I was laughing. I was laughing at this.
I think the best part about it is what it could potentially set up for the MCU and what they're doing with Marvel Spotlight. I think that's why I like it.
I like the street level stuff. It feels good to see a more grounded side of the MCU rather than, all these bombastic, world-ending space exploration, multiversal craziness, which I like.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool for a 3-hour movie. Endgame, great movies.
The upcoming Deadpool movie looks like it's going to be great. Deadpool,
I think it's going to be awesome. Yes, no, that will be that. I think that's kind of the last multiversal threat I want to see, but I think Deadpool is going to put a nice spin on it, just for the simple fact that it's comedic relief.
Yeah.
And it's, as long as Disney isn't going to tone down the comedic relief on it, I think it's going to be great. I really do. I really
hope.
do.
I hope
it better.
It better
because he's been trying to get Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine in all of his movies for how long? Think about that. He's made shots, and after Logan and Deadpool 2, and he's laying on this thing. He's like, yeah, you really taught me on this one, huh, Wolvie? And he tries to kill himself just like he did in Logan, like just those little pot shots.
It's about time.
Yes. So as long as Disney doesn't tone it down, that'll be probably the last multiversal threat I want to see for a while.
For a little while, until Fantastic Four, whenever that's going to roll out. I
think that's the only that's probably the only cosmic it's the only thing that I want to see is Fantastic Four. And do that, because that's what the Fantastic Four is.
Other than that, I just want Daredevil, Fisk, Spider-Man, the Punisher. I want to see,
Luke Cage. I want to see the street level stuff where it's not a cosmic. Yes, that brutality, the Punisher.
Yeah, exactly. Something more gritty, something more real, And
at a certain point, sometimes it feels more relatable to everyday stuff, like reading, like, oh, that'd be really cool if there's a blind dude that's kicking someone's butt, whatever. I mean, so there's certain aspects that are like so make believe, but there's certain things like you see in like drug dealers or people mugging people or robbing that street, like that to me, and like seeing some vigilante, that's cool to me.
Right.
Not a
gigantic
purple man.
You barely been picking up on the Daredevil Netflix show.
Yes. So I'm literally season 2, I think, like episode 6.
Okay, yeah.
Skip past. I'd watched like the first 6 episodes, but I'm trying to get ready for Daredevil Born Again, and and kind of watching Echo and seeing Daredevil and seeing that, and like watching She-Hulk for what I did.
That's another one.
Yes, that's another one. But kind of seeing that beginning of Echo made me be like, oh shit, Born Again's coming out, and then you kind of see like the little teasers of what potentially his outfit's gonna be, and it's made me go back to it and to actually want to start watching it again and kind of get more back to the street level in preparation for it.
And it looks like we're kind of getting a continuation of that show with Daredevil Born Again.
I hope so. This is watching the guy play Matt Murdock and Be Blind, and then seeing the choreography and how well he does playing that role completely. There's very few Marvel actors that I can really like go back and be like, that's who that is. Like RDJ did Iron Man great.
They embody the character.
That's what I'm saying. And this guy,
he embodies it. Charlie Cox is his name. He embodies the character so much. I shit you not. You would think he's blind if you actually met him in person.
Literally, you would think the guy is blind. He does a great job. He's a great actor. I'm glad Disney carried him over 100%. That there's nobody else. If they would have recast and tried to redo it, it would have ruined, I think, all of it. I think by them taking over Daredevil and buying it, great Daredevil, 100%. Nobody, I think, could be able to play that role better. I'm excited to see what they do with Born Again. We'll see. I mean, what the scripts, you just said something like
they're filming right now. The leaks came out. They brought back the last actors.
Foggy has short hair now?
Yes.
Because they were filming, and then they posted a picture.
They brought back the actors. Well, I guess according to some leaks that I seen or that I heard, I guess the original script was going to be 18 episodes or whatever, and then Feige didn't like it. He didn't even suit up in the Daredevil suit for like 4 or 5 episodes. And
that's way too slow of a start. No.
So I guess they scrapped it. It's a little bit more dialed back. Supposedly more like the original show. They're bringing back the original actors because I guess the show is going to start up with them getting killed off screen, just out of nowhere. Like what? That don't even make any sense. Bring back the original character. Bring back the character that fans love, because you know what? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU right now, it's kind of, hit or miss.
I think it's more miss as of lately. Certain aspects of it, if you were to break down aspects and give certain subjects, I think nine out of 10 of those subjects, I'll be 7 out of 10 of those subjects probably misses. Character art, their arc and their story arc and everything. 9 times out of 10 they're recasting it, and it's just totally different than what I want to see.
And some stuff's kind of cheesy, and
so when Netflix did such a good job with it, if they don't bring back that cast and kind of continue that story, you'd be an idiot.
Man, yeah.
Feige did it. He made a good call.
You haven't even seen season 3 yet. Man,
no.
We'll talk about that probably, when you watch it, but it leads into something great, and Bullseye in that season, man, awesome.
I think I saw a spoiler though where Bullseye gets in the Daredevil costume, and Matt Murdock has to go back to season 1 where he's got the cover over his face. I saw some video like that where
I sent that to you.
yeah. No, you did send it to me. So when I watched it, I was like,
that show's good. I don't blame you for skipping most of season 1. That one was a build-up of everything. It's kind of a little on the boring side, but you did miss some stuff in that last part of that season, probably. But it's all good. Season 2 is great.
The hard part about really getting started, with when they're building a story arc, and they're it's kind of pre them having superpowers, Daredevil kind of going through and figuring it out and everything, and they're getting Murdock and Nelson story, and all that's getting it, and they're building into the characters. Like you said at the very beginning, we have family.
Yeah,
I work 40 hours, so I need something that kind of grasps my attention. That's why I went to season 2. It's kind of more established, and when I began season 2, it wasn't hard to pick up on the story and where it was at. Did I miss Fisk getting arrested? Did I miss what's her name blown out Fisk's blowing up, shooting the shit out of Fisk's buddy or whatever? You see that aspect Wesley, of it for being a crackhead or whatever. I missed certain aspects of it that probably we're gonna play more.
The show really picks up in season 2, though. You got Elektra, you got the Punisher.
Oh, you get the backstory on Elektra and him hooking up, dude. And that Punisher starting off, and they're trying to help him out. No, season 2, it's been fantastic so far. I think starting off on episode 1 of season 2 was probably the best bet for me because it had me wrapped from that moment on.
Yeah, but you can't watch season 3 yet because you got to watch the between stuff with the other shows.
With the Defenders and all that.
With the Defenders, and because the Defenders leads right into season 3. So maybe you could get away with just watching the Defenders. But I gotta look that up first.
We'll need to check into that. But no, I don't want to watch Jessica Jones. I had tried watching that at one point, and Luke Cage and her hooking up. It was too slow.
I get it.
I couldn't.
I get it.
It was so hard for me to watch. I was just
I'll be honest. I watched Jessica Jones, but I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite. I think my least favorite, though, was Iron Fist. I don't know why.
That's one I won't watch.
I guess
purely off your recommendation. You told me this plenty of times.
I guess they're bringing back all those old actors. That's fine. Give them a second chance. I liked Luke Cage. Luke Cage was all right.
He was good. It was a good casting. It's a very good casting. If you were to look at comic book wise, you look at big muscular black man. They put him in the right outfit and everything. He looked good for the part. Jessica Jones, I'm sorry, Jessica Jones. So in my opinion, sucked. But that casting, I don't even know the female actor thing. She looks great for that part. I'm sorry, that's a 10 out of 10 casting. Give her the outfit and being like that. No, did I really watch it? No, but I'm just saying if I were to take a picture of the Jessica Jones from Netflix and a comic book Jessica Jones, I can go get my Marvel trading cards right now and look at it. That's a 10 out of 10 casting.
She plays a great bitch,
And she looks the part.
Great.
She looks the part. That's what I was trying to say without you having to say that. It's a 10 out of 10 casting. It's perfect. She plays a bitch.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
100%. Yeah.
Part of my language, but
it's all good.
She does a good job at it. But no, there's. Back to the grassroots. It's just the street level. It's what I want to see. It's what I'm the most excited about.
Exactly. Yeah, they have superpowers, but they're fighting,
regular
crime lords and gangsters and
semi-regular people. Semi-regular. I mean, Fisk is a different
They're focusing on ground level, the ground level judicial system too.
Yes, and the dirty politicians that you read about in the comics. So that's that. There's I think
some real life stuff.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. It's more relatable. It's it's a breath of fresh air because, by golly, neither you nor I are going to go up to space, go to some multiversal planet, a different, Earth 818. We're not going to Earth 818. It's not, those stories, they're cool when you're in the mood for it, but it's just been so played out.
The thing is, the MCU, I don't know how many projects they've had by now, probably well over 40, well over 30 maybe, and
easy.
You got to think about the new person who's never seen, who hasn't seen the last 10 Marvel movies, and they go into the latest Marvel movie. You got to make sure they have a good time too. You got to really sell this movie, and a lot of these movies are flopping. I haven't even seen the Marvels yet.
So either have I. I'm waiting, honestly.
Disney Plus, I'll give it a chance.
I'll start to watch it, but dude, if it does not wrap me in, I probably honestly will turn it off and I'll read about it, see what the story arc was, kind of main events that happened, or I'll even go on YouTube and I'll go watch some videos and kind of get a quicker breakdown, so that way the key points you don't miss. Other than that, I'm not gonna watch it.
I kind of give myself somewhere loosely between a 10 to 25 minute rule. If it doesn't get me in the first 10 to 25 minutes, that shit's going off, man.
Dude, honestly, and in that 10 to 25 minute range that I have as well, if it reaches 3 things that I kind of get irritated about, I know it starts to turn me off a little bit, but I give it at least another 3. And if you reach 6 things that I'm kind of and it irritates me, I'm gonna turn it off. So, I'm okay. I'm done. So you got 25 minutes or 6 irritating things, whichever one comes first, and it's over with. And I turn it off.
The funny thing about that is, I did the whole first episode of The Boys, and it took me I think over a year to even go back and watch the second episode. And then after that, I took 3 months off and watched the third episode. And then from there, I watched it all the way through.
So I remember it was during the lull period. I think Spider-Man I want to say the Spider-Man trilogy that with Tom came out. And we were kind of in a lull period where there was really no comic book stories or movies or shows coming out. This is kind of
where we're at right now.
Right. I think it was right when Disney started Disney Plus, and so they were working on projects. So we didn't have a lot coming out, whether it be shows, movies. And so somebody that a mutual person we worked with was like, "Hey, you got to watch The Boys." Why? Well, it's superheroes fun. I know you like superheroes. I'm like, well, okay. He goes, but it's real life. It's what if today, in today's world, if it was to be true, if we could have some sort of powers that, a combination, the entire show rips off just so many different superheroes, and it's hilarious. There's some very graphic stuff that is not meant for children. It's a complete,
my wife would say it's not meant for her either.
Yeah, dude, my wife, I was watching it, she'd be like, is that really necessary that they do that?
I felt that too. I feel like a lot of the stuff is kind of for shock value.
100%.
But it's a little bit too much.
But biggest part about that, though, hold on, I don't mean to cut you off. Biggest part about that, though, is if superheroes were to be real, would that not be something that would be taking place?
100%. 100%.
Egos, psychopaths.
I was talking to my brother about it the other night because he saw me watching the last few episodes of what is it, season 3?
We're waiting on season 4 to come out.
Yeah, and I was telling him you know what, this is actually kind of real, because if these people were actually legit, Superman was a real thing, he'd be an asshole. 100%. All these suits.
Golden Boy. He's the Golden Boy. If you break down any comic ever,
selfish.
Superman is it. And so for them to paint the biggest character, Superman, as an asshole, dude, that's what he would be in real life. It is.
A lot of superheroes, it's human nature. They have, even in the comics, even in the movies, they have human tendencies. They have temptations. And you know damn well, superheroes, they will definitely do that.
But in the beginning, though, comics were made for more geared towards children.
Yeah.
Think about that. And so The Boys, that show is geared towards adults. It ain't written for children,
100%.
period, at all.
Yeah.
Graphic. It's a good show.
Yeah.
I genuinely really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It was good. It was good. I wish there was more Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy was cool.
Soldier Boy, yes. No, I wish there would be more Soldier, but there's not.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I'll have to watch probably the last 6 episodes of season 3 because I finished it well over a year ago. And then leading into the next season, you just finished it recently.
I just finished it, yeah.
I finished it 6+ months ago, even a year ago.
Well, that's when you were telling me to watch it.
Yeah, I finished it that long ago.
I don't know, man.
I'll have to go back. I don't know how I'm going to feel about Starlight, though.
Oh, yeah. She looks different. But you know what? I noticed that, like, between, like, every season, if you go back and just pop on an episode with her in the first season, and look at the second season, and look at the third season, she gradually...
She's getting there. Plastic surgery, losing, like, certain face. Yeah, no, when you sent me that, that's probably going to be...
Hollywood does to people, man.
Hollyweird. Not even Hollywood, but Hollyweird. But you sent me that picture, and at that point, I was like, I'm really looking forward to season 4 coming out. That's a drastic change to what you used to look like. What the hell made you look this way? How do the writers handle that and have to write that into the script?
It's like, who hired you?
Yeah, no,
you're like a different person.
You're totally different person. During filming, like writing the script, like the writers have to, at a certain point in Hollywood, when one of your lead roles changes their look so drastically, how would you handle that as a writer? Just out of curiosity, how do you kind of... Do you try to have the makeup team try to mask it up and contour her face? Like, that to me is what, like...
CGI.
AI. A deep fake. Yeah. Give her old face a deep fake.
just AI it, man.
She's got the face. She doesn't have the face anymore, but nor do I think she has the facial expressions. It might be hard.
Look, I hope that picture was like a filter or something. Maybe it doesn't look that bad. Never know. We'll see in season 4, I guess. But I was telling my brother the other night too, like, you know, the one thing about this show is this chick gets kind of harder to look at as the seasons go on.
Dude, honestly, and the show, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard sometimes to look at all the characters, because you see a certain guy have sexual relationship with the squid. So it's hard to look at that guy at that point anymore in the story. Yeah. You see a black...
My brother was watching it with me, and he has like these sexual tendencies with a squid. It's like, dude, this guy...
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do I look at that character any differently? Then you see Homelander like go through and like have this egotistical trip and the weird stuff that he's into with like the breast milk or whatever with that late. It makes the show... It's fun to watch, but sometimes I look at the characters like, how do I look at you? Like,
how does their own family look at them? Think about that.
That's what as an actor, I mean, do you go home and you tell your mom like, yeah, I had to pretend to have relations with a sea animal?
I've seen a video of like, I guess some interview between the guy who plays, or with the guy who plays Butcher and the guy who plays Soldier Boy. I guess there was a part in that Herogasm episode where that actor who plays Soldier Boy, he even told the producers like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
I don't know how...
I have a family to go home to, you know. I gotta respect myself. I ain't doing that.
Dude,
but that was one of 2 or 3 episodes that I remember throughout the whole show that had like
really graphic, like
all out, like, damn, what the hell?
It's a big turnoff to certain people, and it's like one of those ones you can't watch around kids, or like certain, like, I felt weird watching it in front of my wife.
Exactly.
I literally would, I would fast forward through some of those scenes, like, just let's get back to the story. Let's
see, like, the
fighting scene.
Exactly. No, yeah, that's what I mean. Some of that stuff just seems like shock value. Like, does this really have anything to do with the story, knowing that this character is
doing this with that?
Doing this with doing this with that.
No, but at the same time, that's like, if my memory serves me correct, that was like one of the first shows that when Amazon Prime Video like tried putting out their own projects, like say Netflix or Hulu does like these exclusives. I want to say The Boys was one of the first exclusives.
I think so.
Whoever came up with the idea, pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not gonna. All the weird stuff that goes along with it, your writers are one thing, but the person that was like, hey, we should take superheroes in what today and like what they'd be like in real life and like really play into.
Well, I guess it's based off a comic book of the same name, but I heard it's a lot different in the comic.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot different. Like they've changed everything almost.